Oh, damn, girl. Looks like a damn no prep car. All the way in the back. Nothing in the front. Know what I'm saying?
What?
Chinga, chinga, chinga.
Ooh, it's cold outside.
Well, guys, today is November 14th. It's Kennedy and I's anniversary. Been together 4 years. Pretty awesome. Yeah, and I'm still coming to work. So today is an interesting day. We got a few cars in here. We've got some cars in the trailer. Oh, we can only fit one car. I've got a car at my house I'm storing. We're pretty busy. So, which is really cool, and which is why I'm working on a Sunday on our anniversary. She's gonna kill me. But Kennedy, the reason why I'm with Kennedy, besides the fact that I love her and she's amazing, is she is one of the most supportive people I've literally ever met in my life. So I'm really lucky to have her, and she supports me coming to work at the shop on our anniversary. Pretty awesome. So anyways, you guys will see what's going on with Vic's car in the next video. You'll see where we're at in the Hellcat swap deal in the next couple videos. But my car is actually leaving the shop today. Pretty sad. So you saw me taking the front end off, which is super easy now that Streetcar Joe did the tubular front end. Still uses stock fenders, stock bumper, which is really cool because I love the look of the stock body S550 on the outside. I haven't gone to anything carbon. I've said this like 1 zillion times before, but literally every panel on the outside of my car is 100% stock. The only thing that I probably will end up doing aftermarket is the hood. And I was gonna keep the stock hood. I literally got another stock hood. We were gonna cut it to fit the exhaust, but the way that the radiator sits up top with the tubular front end, we can't actually make it work. So we tried though, because I really do. I love all the stock panels on the car. Someday I'll do carbon one-piece front end, carbon doors, Lexan, all that stuff. But I really like having it all stock on the outside with glass. Since everyone likes to bitch and complain and make side petty notes about how their car is stock and it's heavy and all this crap. So I keep mine stock panels all on the outside. All these people post, oh, my car is so heavy, and they got freaking carbon doors and shit. So sorry about your luck. But anyways, the car is leaving today, which is really interesting. It is so nice having your own shop, and then you have a spot for your car to work on, but you don't have time to work on your own car. But it's leaving today. So it is finally getting ready for what I had planned a long time ago. And you guys will kind of find out here today based on where we're taking it. Taking it to a buddy's shop. We're actually swapping cars. I'm gonna take his Cobra and he's gonna take my S550. We're gonna swap some workout, and the whole car is going to be completely changed. Because at this point, we are nearing the end of 2021 because we're already in November, middle of November. And I did not hit one race this year. I missed all streetcar takeovers. I missed TX2K. I missed FL2K. I missed a bunch of local stuff. And then I ended up missing Mod Nats, which is literally going on today. So, which is fine. I kind of had planned, I didn't plan to miss all those races because I thought everything was gonna go good with the stock ECU. But once we decided to switch over to Holly, and then we figured out the whole Gen 3, Gen 2 thing with the Holly, it just became a longer project than it ever was meant to be, which is totally fine because when the car is done, it'll be where I want it to be. But that's just part of it. It's part of learning, part of testing new things, trying new things. But I know in the end, it's going to be worth it. And honestly, like, it's literally, so the car's actually been down a year since last week. So that's when I blew the head gasket last year, torched the head. But is what it is. That's part of it. I never planned for the car to be down this long, but I decided I wanted to do all these upgrades, where usually you do like small upgrades here and there. You upgrade the turbo, you upgrade the fuel system, you get new suspension, you know, pretty much like normal round of mods you do with these cars. But I kind of wanted to flip mine and just go balls to the wall right away instead of wasting time. A lot of people, there's a couple ways that people build cars. Some people get a roller, kind of like this, no engine, no trans, and they drop it off somewhere. They drop it off a chassis shop, get the chassis all done, drop it off, get a motor put in, get a trans put in, get a turbo kit put in, and the car's completely done. Mine, I kind of went through some stages at the beginning. You know, I just did the turbo kit, then I did, this is like your normal everyday person type deal. You get a turbo kit or power, whatever power out you're gonna get. You upgrade the suspension, you upgrade the wheels, you do this, do that, and then you kind of go to the next level. Some people sell their car at that point. I've been there before. Some people go to that next level, which I've been there before, where you start building the motor, you swap the trans, you get a bigger turbo kit, you get a bigger fuel system, and you just go crazy from there. And when you do it that way, there's a long period of waiting time. Whereas before, you know, when you're just upgrading like suspension or the engine or just the turbo kit, you know, when you're doing stuff like one thing at a time, you get the car running, then you upgrade. You get the car running, then you upgrade. So whereas this time around, I decided to go absolutely bonkers and lost my mind and changed literally everything on the car when it was already changed. I literally already had a trans swap. I already had all the suspension. I already had a built engine. I already had a bigger turbo kit. I already had a bigger fuel system. I already had all that. And I decided to do it all over again and then go absolutely bonkers with it, which is what I wanted to do because I want to go really fast with this car. So that's where the Mustang is at. It is literally a roller right now. It's got no engine, no trans, the electronics are in it, but they're obviously nothing's hooked up, so no battery. And it is going to get some work because when we did the front end, I had planned, so we did the front end, the car was running. If you guys don't remember, if you look back like 3 or 4 months ago, the car was running. The plan was to pull everything back out, paint the whole engine bay, do all that stuff. But then it got running and I was like, man, I just want to go testing. I want to go racing. All the races are about to start to happen. The good mine shaft air where everyone goes fast is coming up. But then we couldn't get the stock ECU to work. We tried a billion things. I literally replaced every harness in the car, like legit the engine harness and the main power harness with the fuse box up front. I literally got a whole entire new harness for the car. Replaced BCM, all that stuff. The only thing I didn't replace was the PCM, but it's good. So none of that worked. And then we switched to the Holly and I was like, you know, we got the Holly, everything was wired up. We thought it was gonna work. So I was like, yep, I'm not painting the engine bay. I'm gonna leave it. I'm gonna get the Holly working. And then guess what? The Holly doesn't freaking work. So now that we had to send the engine off anyways to RPG, which I'm about to talk about here in a second, I decided that, which you're gonna find out here in a little bit, we're actually going to paint the entire engine bay. So it's gonna get smoothed, welded, shaved, not in that order because that's the wrong order it happens in, but you know what I'm saying. And the whole front end is gonna be painted. Now you may be saying, well, the car's wrapped. So I haven't completely decided, but I think I've pretty much decided. The guy that's painting it can match the wrap exactly to the engine bay. Because I've talked about it before, or at least I've told some people, but I want to eventually paint the whole entire car. However, like I still don't have the hood for it. I want to get a new front bumper, a stock one, but I want to get a new front bumper because it's got some wear and tear on it. I need to get like a few small dings fixed, and yeah, so I don't know if I want to paint the whole entire car yet because that adds a whole nother cost to it by getting like the hood, the bumper, probably get a new trunk, fix all the dents. It gets expensive, and I've just literally spent way too much money on this thing. I don't even want to know how much I've spent. Probably more than the payout that they did at the Grand Hustle No Prep, if you know what I'm talking about. Go look that up. But anyways, so this is the perfect time to get the engine bay all cut up, welded up, grinded, smoothed, and painted. So, and then when he said he could match the wrap, I was really excited. So anyways, The engine is at RPG right now. So I had to put Gen 2 heads on my Gen 3 block, which people have done before. It's just the easier way. I wouldn't say the easier. No, it's the easier way. It's the easier way to get the Holley to work because the Holley already works with Gen 2. So put Gen 2 heads on it, put Gen 2 timing on it, and everything should work just fine. Got to put a Gen 2 rear cover on, a Gen 2 crank sensor, Gen 2 reluctor wheel, which I have all that stuff, and that's gonna all go on my Gen 3 block. The good thing about going to Gen 2 heads, which I'm literally just gonna tell you guys everything I did, because why not? The good thing about going to Gen 2 heads is you can get metal valve covers from the GT500, which are in here. So, I'll show you. So these are GT500 metal valve covers. What sucks about the Gen 3 is it has plastic valve covers, which are prone to leaking, prone to cracking, especially under high boost applications, and there's no fix for it. So now a lot of people are going super fast. I've been 780s a year ago. People are just now going that fast, but I went 780s a year ago at almost 180 miles an hour on the Gen 3 valve covers. You may not have a problem, but it's something I don't want to chance. One of mine always had a problem leaking. They're plastic. It's a failure point. At some point, it's going to fail. Like I said, some people it's probably worked out fine, but at some point they will fail. So the good thing about going to a Gen 2 is can do metal valve covers. And I can actually have like real bungs welded on instead of just stupid ass adapters because it's a plastic valve cover. So got some actual metal bungs we're gonna weld on there. Streetcar Joe's gonna weld up on there for the catch can lines. Because when you start going this fast, you gotta do everything. You gotta think, you don't want stuff that can fail. Anything that's plastic and has adapters and all this stupid shit on it, that stuff fails. So essentially, what we did was sold my Gen 3 heads. I pretty much traded my Gen 3 heads for Gen 2 heads, but had to send the Gen 2 heads back to RPG, to Frankenstein, because the Gen 3 heads were ported. So I was like, why am I gonna put stock Gen 2 heads on my car? So I paid an expedited fee. Me and Will from RPG, we sent the heads to Frankenstein, got them ported and polished. So they're just like my Gen 3 heads. And since I'm upgrading, I went and got some comp cams. So now I got comp cams. Had to buy new valve springs because those are different. So got some new pack valve springs for the Gen 2 heads. Got all Ford Performance timing stuff on there. Billet timing guides. Upgraded chains. I'm trying to think here. I think it's still stock valve springs, stock retainers. No, just kidding. I had to get titanium retainers. So I had to get titanium retainers, stock valve springs, got the cams, got the valve covers, got the Gen 2 ported heads by Frankenstein, all the timing components, the phasers. Then I had to get the lockouts for the phasers. And yeah, it just got real expensive real fast. But that's going to be the right way to do it. And that will work with the Holley. We know for sure that'll work with the Holley because the Gen 2, the Holley is made for the Gen 2. So that's kind of where the car's at right now. No huge cool updates, unfortunately, but it is getting a lot of work done to it and it'll be worth it when it's done. But I'm honestly so busy right now at the shop and with my regular job at the gym that I don't have time to mess with my car anyway. So essentially what our goal is Chase and I have like a list of priorities with the cars that are at the shop, and we've pretty much prioritized, you know, which car needs to go first, which car we're working on now, depending on parts. Like some cars, we get to a certain point, then we need parts. We get to another point, then we need parts. So we're kind of like bouncing around in between projects as we need parts for certain things. But we have the cars prioritized and we're trying to get the cars out in a certain order so that when my car is done, we can go testing, because with doing the engine bay, that should only take about a week, maybe 2 weeks tops to get painted and get it back over here. When it gets back here, the engine is supposed to be done. So in about 2 weeks, the car should come back, engine bay should be done. The engine should also be arriving that same week. And then I sent everything back off to get powder coated and Cerakoted. Let me walk back over here 1,000 times. I just walk around the shop all day. You know what I'm saying? Gotta get my steps in, stay healthy out here. So I don't even know if you guys remember, but originally got everything Cerakoted. All the hot side stuff was Cerakoted, and then all the cold side stuff was powder coated. So we had to make a new charge pipe for the Sean's custom alloy billet manifold. So that charge pipe, we never got powder coated. Same thing. I was going to run the car at the end of the year with like this half-ass looking charge pipe because didn't have time to go get it powder coated because I just wanted the car to run. Now that the car's down, we can make everything look freaking clean as hell. So we sent the charge pipe off to get powder coated because Joe had to remake, I mean, he pretty much remade the whole pipe. And then this other exhaust manifold on the driver's side, we actually had to make an extension for it after I had already Cerakoted it. So once again, like that manifold looked like shit and I was gonna run it that way, but now that everything's out, we can make it all look good. So Cerakoting that, and then what else? Oh, we sent the wastegate dump tubes. We have the dump tubes coming out the hood. Those are getting Cerakoted so that they can match everything. And then the throttle body, we added a V-band clamp to for the charge pipe. And so Joe had to take off some of the coating on the throttle body for the V-band clamp, and same thing, that kind of looked like shit, and now it's getting, that piece is getting Cerakoted. So everything will look good, it'll all be matching. Another thing is we got, move this manifold out of the way. We got some Hughes, I got some stators, some backup stators, but I got a stage 2 dump valve kit from Hughes. So this was another thing that we were worried about, was with the bigger single turbo this year, small cubic inch motor, it's a 302, was getting on the chip. So getting on the two-step, you know, you only have 7 seconds courtesy staging, you know, once the other person's in. And with a big single on a small cubic motor like this, it's hard to get on the chip. Now you can do some stuff in the tunes. You can get the right stator in there, but a dump valve will help you get up that much quicker. And then having a stage 2 on there will help it get up that much quicker and give you higher stall speed by having the 2 stages of dump valves. Now, you can also get really crazy with these things and do some tuning down the track with them. That's like beyond my knowledge. Haven't messed with any of that stuff yet. But you can play with the dump valves down the track also, make the converter looser or tighter. So essentially the dump valves are gonna release a bunch of pressure on the chip and help you get up on the 2-step faster. So, but then you can do some games with it down the track, like I said, which I don't know how to do that, but there's a lot of cool stuff you can do with those dump valves. But anyways, I got them mostly to help the car get up on the 2-step, because when the car was running on the stock ECU, mind you, this is totally different. I did try and seat the new rings for the motor by getting on the 2-step, and it was, well, quite slow, almost impossible. So, and we hadn't really messed with the tuning, so we probably could have done a few things to the tuning to make it get up faster, but the dump valves will make everything so much easier. We'll be able to get up on the chip probably in like 3.5 to 4 seconds, and then we won't have to worry about burning somebody else down or burning down our own, because that's never cool. So a bunch of upgrades going on while the car is down. Like I said, this is things the car was gonna need anyways, so it just makes sense to do it all now. And probably the thing that I'm most excited about is the freaking engine bay not looking so ugly. The engine bay not matching because the car has a wrap doesn't bother me, because everybody knows it has a wrap, so they expect like the door jambs and all the in-between spaces, you know, not to match. But with the engine bay, like, you know, we welded and grinded on it, and it just looks like shit. And I was gonna paint it like black or gray or something just to get by. But like I said, now that everything's out, it gives us the chance to actually make the thing look like it should, you know? Like the car looks super nice on the outside. It's gonna be a pretty fast car, I hope. So when the hood comes off, you don't want the engine bay looking like shit. Like, it has a super badass custom turbo kit that Joe spent a lot of time on. It's got a one-off tubular front end that literally nobody has because Joe made it from scratch. We had an idea in our head and we made it happen. And you want to be able to showcase that piece, but not with it all rusted and looking like shit. You want it painted to show off the badass fab work. So it does the car justice, and it does the shop justice, and it does Streetcar Joe justice by taking the extra time, getting it all painted. So like I said, this all would have probably not happened if I didn't have to send the engine off and put the heads on. Now you may be asking, why didn't you put the heads on? I was going to, I had thought about it, but Will had the Gen 2 heads that I traded for, and they were going back to him after they got ported anyways. So it just made sense to send everything to him. Plus, with all these other damn projects we have, I really don't have time. I would make time to work on my car, and then it would take away time from getting customer builds done and keeping money coming in the shop. So that's where we're at with the Mustang, and I'll show you guys what we're gonna go get. Goodbye, my love. Oof, new Cobra. Who this? What the hell is this?
Well,
you said we weren't taking on any more cars. Nah, you said.
Well, while you were gone, I traded your car for this.
A Cobra.
Super snake.
Oh boy, look, it doesn't even have a steering wheel.
Austin, can we get your people?
All right, so it looks like we got ourselves a real deal Cobra, boys. That's a snake. So anyways, this is our good buddy, Joseph Huffman. I actually think this car was in a video a long time ago, racing Rego. It's a Camel Cat, maybe like 2 or 3 years ago. Yes. But it's been through some changes. I think he bought it as like a Kenny Bell car. It was a manual car. And pulled that out. It's getting a built motor, not from us. But he's doing a built motor, turbo 400. And I think Joe's going to actually do the turbo kit. But it's a super nice car. He just got a cage put in it. Pretty legit. But anyways, he's the one, he works at a body shop, so he's the one that's going to actually do the engine bay in my car, weld everything up. So we're actually going to install the Motion Raceworks manual steering column that I sold him actually. And then we're doing a Flaming River rack. So he's going to have manual steering all the way around. And then I think we're going to convert it to manual brakes also. So we're going to get that whole system out of there. But this is Huffman's badass Cobra. These cars are sick. And if someone says these are heavy, you're crazy. Because I just pushed this thing and it is way lighter than my car. But yeah, these are sick. I think it still has an 8.8 in the back, but it's reinforced and everything. But it's a super clean car on the outside. So we just got to do some basic stuff to it. So we probably won't work on it today, but we'll knock it out tomorrow or Tuesday. Because he said he'll have my car done probably in like a week or 2. And so we should probably get back to these projects.
This is your fault.